last park on our trip. I was not really happy about that. If you ever come to Furuvik, really recommending this. That was a weird situation, really. He's a bit camera shy, I think. Such a nice environment for these animals.
Good morning from Furuvik, last park on our trip here, on our Scandinavian trip. Furuvik is a small little park, 2 hours driving from Stockholm, so we drove quite a while. It's situated somewhere, it seems like in the middle of nowhere, but it's a smaller park to end our trip with, so it's going to be a relaxing day. There's a few rides, like for example 3 roller coasters, not really thrilling ones, but one of them is a coaster I'm looking forward to, which is new from last year, which is Lightning, a Vekoma family launch coaster. But anyway, there's also some animals to see here, so let's get inside and enjoy Furuvik on our last day here. Here we are, last park of our trip. Bart is also joining me, of course, because Bart is joining me the whole trip. We're here in Furuvik. At first sight it looks like this park has a lot of nature, a lot of greenery, a lot of beautiful landscaping hopefully, but we'll see. We're going to our first ride immediately. But first I need to go to the toilet because after 2 hours in the car I need to go to the toilet. Anyway, afterwards we'll get to our first ride. Okay, finding the toilet already seems to be a struggle because according to the park map there should be a toilet somewhere here, but I cannot seem to find the toilet. I don't know where it is. I think I found it. I hope it's here. Okay, no, it's not here. I really need to go to the toilet. Oh my god, I found it. Hallelujah. Alright, enough of that very necessary information about me going to the toilet. Let's go to our first ride of the day. And like I said, there are some animals here, and this one seems to be new, the red panda, so let's find that later. Now looking at this park at first sight, it looks kind of charming actually, with all the greenery, with all the Scandinavian houses and such. It looks really charming. This park already kind of reminds me a bit of, yeah, it gives me some kind of Scandinavian far up Summerland kind of vibe. I don't know, it's very charming already. Now we arrived here at the rides part, the Tivoli part, because there are 3 parts. There is the animal part, the rides part and the swimming pool part. Now we're going to explore the rides first. Here we are. There's a wave swinger here. There is a boomerang coaster, family boomerang coaster by the way. There we see Lightning already, which is a family launch coaster. There is also a ride which we can find in almost every park nowadays. It's not a disco coaster, but just a normal disco like we did in Liseberg. There's also an area here for concerts. Today there is not a concert planned. So luckily, because otherwise it would have been a lot busier probably. But anyway, at first sight it looks like a bit of a, yeah. The other part at the entrance looks a bit more charming. Here it's just like some rides around some asphalt plaza, I don't know. Anyway, let's enjoy our first ride, and I think we're going straight for probably the best ride in the park and the newest ride here, coaster Lightning. Let's do it. right, so we went on lightning here. First of all, it's not a very spectacular ride. The launch is also really soft actually. It's a family coaster, of course. It's nothing too thrilling. So it's a fun family ride, but certainly not something for thrill seekers, that's for sure. Now we had quite a weird situation actually there, because before visiting the park, I actually mailed the park if it was allowed to film on ride, and they told me in the mail it's perfectly fine to film on the ride with a safe and secure chest mount, like this of course, and our attraction host will always check this on site. So yeah, we entered the park, we entered the ride, safely secured chest mount, and suddenly the attraction hosts are like, we cannot check this. Yeah, but in the mail they said, you're going to check it. Yeah, no, we don't check this, we don't check this. Then someone from the mechanics, which is really like, what the hell, someone from the mechanics had to come to check the chest mount. He just came, he looked at it and he said, yeah, that looks fine. As if the person standing at this ride could not check this. It was really a ridiculous situation. Anyway, because of that, we were able to actually film in the front. A plus side, because when entering the ride, she was like, yeah, if there's a line, you're not allowed to wait for a front seat ride. While there were only 5 people behind us, it was really ridiculous. Anyway, we got a front seat ride, but at first sight, I have a feeling that the staff from this park is not really well informed. It's just, that was a weird situation really, and I'm kinda, I was not really happy about that. But anyway, let's get to the next ride, which will probably be this family boomerang coaster. Now this family boomerang coaster here from Vekoma is for those who don't know what a boomerang coaster is, it's a coaster that goes forwards and then all the way backwards again. This is a family version, so it doesn't have inversions, and it's one from Vekoma, which is a Dutch coaster manufacturer. Now, as you can see, this one is the same model as London Loop, for example, as Global Village in Dubai, which I did there. It's quite a standard model from Vekoma. Anyway, that's right, Fireball, the Vekoma family boomerang coaster, and hopefully we will be able to film this one because I'm not sure anymore. Same story here. They again had to ask the mechanic to get the approval, but he just called him on the radio. Really, I think by now the mechanics already know someone is filming some rides here. I don't know. We still have 4 rides to film, so probably they will be like, oh, them again at the end of the day. I don't know, but I'm not sure if I'm going to spend a lot of time in this park. But by the way, Fireball, the Vekoma family boomerang coaster, it's a fun layout. Like I said, I already did this model back in Dubai, in Global Village, London Loop it's called there. It's not a very spectacular ride, it's, like I said, a family ride, but all the rides here are family rides or kids ride. There is nothing too thrilling, or there is actually one thrilling ride here, which is a top scan kind of ride, I believe, which is right there. We're going to do that later, but first we're going to do this
we already know what to expect. This mediocre disco ride here. Alright, disco coaster, ride number 3, same situation as the other 2 rides. The mechanic had to come all the way again for the 3rd time to check this thing. I think that guy is not going to like us anymore at the end of the day, but that's not our fault if the ride operators are not able to check this themselves. I guess the park has to change their rules or something. I don't know. I'm getting a little bit frustrated by this. It's not that I want to be like entitled or anything with this. Absolutely not. But if I mailed the park in up front to ask for this approval and such, and if they said it was fine and the operators will check this, then I expect this to be the case. But now it's just very strange. Very strange. And just not efficient at all. This guy, this mechanic, has to come to all the rides here just to check the same thing over and over again. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, let's enjoy this Extreme, I think it's called, top scan ride. Hopefully it's going to be a bit more spectacular than the other rides. And with that, we also did Extreme here, the top scan ride. It was my 2nd top scan ride actually, which I did so far. Really fun experience actually. I kind of remember the one I did earlier, like on a fairground in Belgium, on the Singapore, many years ago. It felt a lot more extreme. This one felt quite doable. It's okay, but it's just it's a fun ride. It's for sure a fun ride. It's a bit disorienting. At some point you don't know in which direction you're actually going to go, but anyway, it's a fun ride. Here, almost the same situation as earlier. I saw the 2 operators were kind of looking at me with this thing on. They were like talking to each other, then looking at me again, talking to each other, then calling someone on their walkie-talkie or something. So I guess they had to call the mechanic for the 4th time, and he was like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. Really, Furuvik. My god. But I have to say, the lady at Extreme, I'm not sure what her name was, sorry for not remembering it, but she was very friendly. She was a very nice operator for sure, so kudos to her for sure. But anyway, we're going for our last coaster of the day actually, which is a kiddie coaster. I think it's Draken or something. It's a Zurich coaster, small one, as you can see. So let's check this one out, and hopefully he will not have to bother that same mechanic again. Anyway. scariest ride in the park for sure. No, I'm not being serious, of course. This is just a small kiddie coaster from Zira. We've done it, it's nothing too crazy. We're not going to ride it again for sure. Anyway, the ride operator there again asked me if I had like what is it, approval to film on the ride. This time they were like, yeah, okay, if you have the approval, it's okay. Glad they didn't call that mechanic again, because he would have been kind of pissed off, I think. I don't know. Anyway, as I said earlier, I was getting kind of frustrated with this whole situation, with this thing, because like I said, I asked for the approval via mail and they approved it, so I'm not sure why they were being so ridiculously inefficient. But anyway, it's not the staff's fault, of course. They are just doing their job, they're just doing what they're told. But I think it's something the management needs to make clear to their staff, actually. So for the people working here, I'm not bashing on you guys. You're doing just your job, you're doing just the things which you are being said to do, which is great, because everyone here is telling the same thing. So not bashing you guys. But to the management of Furuvik, really, if you're telling people via mail, this is fine, then make sure your staff is also informed properly. Anyway, the park itself, for now, it's like I said in the beginning of the video already, it's a park with just family rides. The rides we did so far are all family rides. They're all enjoyable for kids, for families, for the younger ones. They're not really thrilling rides. Even the most thrilling ride, the Top Scan Extreme, is not really that thrilling or that intense, so it's really doable for the whole family, actually. So this is clearly a family park, very different than the other parks from the same park chain, which is Parks and Resorts Scandinavia, I believe it is. They also have parks like Grönalund, which we did yesterday, Kolmarden, which we did before on this trip. They also have Sky Summerland, and yeah, Furuvik then here at Fort Park. But to me, this feels like this is the smallest park, the least maybe developed one, because I have a feeling the park here is kind of transitioning, it feels, with new rides being added, such as, for example, Lightning. So maybe the future is bright for this park, but at this moment it feels like it's not as good as the three other parks so far from the same chain. But anyway, the rides are fun, the staff is friendly, they are just doing their job. But yeah, with this whole situation with this thing, my mood to be here kind of dropped quite significantly. But I'm just going to make the best of our day here. We're not going to do a lot of free rides probably, because rides, like I said, just family rides, but we're going to check out one more ride, which is an interactive dark ride, the only interactive dark ride in Sweden actually, which is the Ghost Hunt, I believe it's called, something with ghosts obviously. And then we're going to check out some animals, because there are a lot of animals apparently also in this park. So let's get to the Ghost Hunt first. And who was winner? Yeah, indeed. Bart won on the...
One third more points.
Yes, 1/3 more points indeed. So Bart won on the only interactive dark ride in Sweden. It's the only interactive dark ride in Sweden. So it's strange actually that all those bigger parks here in Sweden don't have an interactive dark ride, because they're so popular in other theme parks. But here, in maybe one of the smallest parks in Sweden, they have an interactive shooting dark ride.
very strange. Anyway, it reminded me a lot, by the way, of Boo Blasters on Boo Hill, which we did 3 months ago in Kings Island. It's kind of the same kind of vibe with the cardboard ghost themes and such. Anyway, it's not the same ride, but it looks very familiar. Anyway, we did all the big rides here in the park already. Now we're going to have some nachos because we just love eating, of course. Anyway, let's see if the nachos are better. I already got rid of the chest mount and the camera. I'm not going to film anymore on ride. I'm so done with it here, really. Anyway, let's enjoy the park some more and eat some nachos. Okay, nachos were kind of okay. The cheese with the nachos was good. The other white sauce, I'm not sure what it was. It didn't taste like anything. But like I said, we're going to explore the other part of the park, which is the animal part. And we're going to look for some nice animals. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but at every start, at every ride, they seem like to scream as if their life depends on it. I'm not sure what they're screaming, the operators, but everyone seems to react. So probably it's something like, are you ready, or something. I don't know. It's funny. Anyway, let's explore the animal part. Oh, first animal. And that's already a big one. Camels. Oh, look at those. Look at those cuties. Hello. He's a bit camera shy, I think. No, please don't film me. Please don't film me. I don't want to be filmed. They don't want to be on camera, I think. But cute animals. Nice start here. So Furuvik already happy with the animal part after the chaos at the right part with the on-ride. Anyway, sorry for the fact I keep bashing about that on-ride part, but that really ruined my mood here. But look at those cuties. It's quite a big area here they have. It's not as big as the one in Kolmarden, for example, but it's quite nice actually. We're already kind of lost, so we're getting the park map. Where do we need to be? Let's follow Bart. Follow the leader, follow the leader. Okay, cringe. There's a Thai restaurant here. With some things which are not Thai. Tikka masala, not Thai. Pancakes, I think. Not Thai. Anyway, strange. But we'll probably eat something there. But first we're going to check some animals and the rest of the park here. Looks like this backside of the park is kind of beautiful actually, with the views on this lake or something. We'll have to get closer to that side because that looks kind of amazing there. Anyway, next animals. Okay, randomly passing by with a tree. I don't know. Ah, look at these. Here we have the animals. Oh, look at that. That's a strange one. Duckins or something. Okay, it seems the man passing by with the tree is actually going to feed those animals with those plants, I guess.
Hela friden är ett taken. Jo, det är faktiskt ett
directly on this side there should be the red panda, which I showed earlier on the folder, which is new, but it's somewhere here. Okay, forget what I said. Apparently, according to this sign, the red panda is coming soon. This is just where it's going to, yeah, live. But there's no red panda yet. Anyway, but here we have something spectacular, which is the view over this big, yeah, I think it's a lake. Really nice. You just look at that. You have such cool environments here in the Scandinavian forests to live. Yeah, these animals here kind of spoiled. If you compare these kind of habitats here in a beautiful Swedish landscape compared to, for example, a zoo in Belgium, this is just such a nice environment for these animals to live in. Really, they have trees for shade, they have a lot of space, they have a lot of variation in the landscape and such. If I would be one of these animals, I would prefer this place. Okay, now before we go to explore all the other animals, we're back here at this one, and since we're probably not passing by here anymore, we're first going to grab a bite here on the Thai restaurant. So let's eat. Okay, we both had a panang chicken, which is a Thai recipe. It was not bad. It was not the best either, but it was not bad for a theme park food for sure. We also had 2 spring rolls each, but combined the panang with the spring rolls was a bit too much for me personally. Actually, my stomach is kind of full. Anyway, we're going to look for the other animals. From the seating area of the Thai restaurant there, we saw actually some monkeys further back. So we're going to look for these. I think they're somewhere. Oh my god. That's a little one. Oh. Look, here's a little one. He or she. Probably she. They're going outside. Bye. But of course this is not the only part where they are sitting, because they have a really huge area here around this lake to have a lot of fun, these monkeys. I think Bart found something. Oh my god. Look at that one. Cutie. He's sleeping. It's a pretty big animal actually. I didn't know these were so big. Yeah, on camera here it doesn't look that big, but it's pretty big in person actually. And here this animal has his playground, I guess. So fun. Oh, the cutie is sleeping, I think. And here I see some more animals. I think it's geese. Oh, look at that. Sheep. Or the backside of sheep. They're eating, I think. I don't know. They have quite some space actually here. Really nice. Quite some space. Quite some variation also. It's not just one big plot of grass field. There's quite some stuff to do for these animals, I guess. And here, oh my god, I think we're coming closer to the lakeside here, where you have apparently spectacular views on the lake here next to the park. So let's go a bit closer there. We passed by this thing earlier, not sure what it is actually. So those watching this video,
please comment if you know what that is. So we're walking this bridge now up to this separate island kind of thing. There are, according to the map, no animals there, but there's like an adventure trail kind of stuff, and hopefully, fingers crossed, a nice view on the lake. There's a lot of stuff here, a lot of things. I think you can do some kind of outdoor activity here, outdoor game or something, probably. You have to answer some questions, do some stuff, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure. But here, oh my god, here at the end, you have a really nice view on the lake here. It's a very, very quiet place here actually. There's no one else here, just us two. And the view. Amazing. Really nice. Look at that. Let's have a look at the other side. But I think these were some kind of bunkers from some kind of war. I don't know. I'm not sure what this is. Look at this. It's really a bunker. Crazy. Okay, I wasn't expecting this here. Oh my god, a lot of bugs here. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera. But look at this spectacular view. Bart is very interested in this war bunkers. I'm not sure if it's war bunkers or just defense. Maybe just defense of the coastline or something from back in the days. I don't know. I really don't know, because I don't know anything about Swedish history or Swedish army military stuff. I don't know anything about that. So I'm not sure what this all is, but it's pretty cool. If you ever come to Furuvik, please make sure to go all the way to the end of the park, to this little island here. It's on the map of the park. Really, really recommending this. The view is spectacular here. There's some cool stuff to see. It's really calm here, but really, really calm here. Very relaxing. Really nice. Anyway, we're going back to the park. But anyway, we're back here at the sheep. There's oh my god, is that an alpaca? Why? Oh my god, there's another one coming. Oh my god, look how cute. Look at this cutie. He's going to eat just like the other one. I really like alpacas, they are so cute. Oh, the sheep are like, oh. let's go find another spot to relax, because these alpacas are disturbing our relaxing siesta. Anyway, the alpacas are too busy with eating, so we're going to look for other animals. Oh my god, by the way, look at this view. Oh my god, I love this. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. I'm not sure what that is actually. So cute. Oh. Really love these. There's really quite some animals actually here in this park. I didn't expect it to be this big, the part with all the animals, because I thought it was going to be more like farm animals and that kind of stuff. But there's quite a lot actually here. Now we're actually going to look for orang-utans. I'm really surprised those can be found here, but let's see where they are. They should be somewhere here. Or maybe they're outside, I don't know. Oh my god. There he is. Oh my god. Oh, there's actually two of them. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh, look at that. Oh, they're getting some food, I think, up there. That's nicely done. One acrobat. Oh, good job. Really nice to see these animals from up close there. It seems we're back at the whole monkey outdoor area here. This is where we had the Thai food. I have a feeling, by the way, there used to be a ride here. Ah, yeah, there you have little boats. There used to be a boat ride here. But it seems this one is not open today. Maybe it's open on other days, I don't know. But it's closed today. Oh, that's nice. Look at this. I'm not sure if this is just closed for today, because these look kinda clean. Or if it's closed for a long time already. It looks really deserted here. Not really well maintained. I'm not sure, it's very weird. Really not sure what this is. Very strange. Anyway. Now I gotta say, this area here where that ride is apparently. And here this area kind of stuff, and back there, and this here where no animals are. I have a feeling this area kind of needs some refurbishment or something. It looks like other parts where the monkeys are, for example, is pretty well maintained, and where the camels are and the Drakens and such. But this part of the animal section seems to be, I don't know, forgotten. Strange. Furuvik, this part here, could use some kind of fresh wind running through the area here. Bit strange here. And here are some farm animals, chickens, and some little goats. Oh, look at the cutie. Look at that one. Like, for example, this part then again looks better maintained, so maybe this park is going through some transformation or something. Anyway, we're going to do this. There should be other animals there. I'm not sure what we're going to find here. But like this again, it's a bit strange. It looks not bad, but it's, I don't know. Maybe that's just the theme of this whole area here, I don't know, but it looks it could use some more maintenance. Or maybe I'm just not getting it, I don't know. Oh my god, look at that. Here it is. Now let's go look at those little goats we saw earlier. Where are beauties? Oh my god, horses. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at these goaties. Oh, there's a little goat. Oh no, that's a sheep. That's not a goat. Oops. Anyway. And with that, I think we saw all the animals here in the park. I have to say, it's a very strange animal park because some parts look really well maintained, some are not that well maintained it seems, but maybe that's how it should be. I don't know, maybe I just don't get it. Anyway, I was a bigger fan of Kolmarden when it comes to animals and such. Oh, look at that. What is the peacock? Casually walking here. Alright. It's really hot here. I'm not sure what we can find here. Bat! Bat, 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 bat! What the hell? You can just get in here and touch these? What the hell? That's pretty scary. I'm not sure if I want to be here. Okay, I'm glad I'm outside of that that part. That was weird. Oh my god, look at that. Look at this. Oh, there he is. Look, Cookie. Okay. And here are the actual Homo sapiens. Wow. They look so familiar. I'm so impressed. Bart found a new friend. He's kind of lost maybe because he's already swimming here. And he's like, wait for me, where are you? Ah, smart one. And with that, I think we saw everything in this park except for the swimming pool, because it's not a very big swimming pool. It's not like Skara Summerland at all. It's pretty small, so we're not going to spend time there. But we saw quite some animals. We enjoyed a relaxing stroll towards the back of the park with some pretty weird military stuff. Not sure what it was. Anyway, but we also experienced, of course, some rides here because that was the main reason we're coming here. My favorite one here, Lightning. Second favorite one is Extreme, actually, and then maybe Fireball, the family boomerang coaster. But anyway, these are just family rides, of course. There's nothing very thrilling in this park. So if you're a thrill seeker, please go to Grönalund or Kolmarden, or for example Liseberg, because Furuvik is not going to be for you. This is not a thrill seekers park. This is really like Skara Summerland, kind of like. But I actually preferred the vibe a little bit of Skara Summerland, although the animal part here is pretty nice. But yeah, if you compare it to Kolmarden a few days earlier, this is not the same, of course. Kolmarden is a lot more beautiful and a lot more to see, in my opinion. But anyway, it's not a bad park. It's still enjoyable for families with kids, for sure. There's actually not a lot of theme parks around here because it's already 2 hours driving to Stockholm for Grönalund. But yeah, it's an enjoyable park for sure. Now, as I said, there's also a water park kind of thing. Yeah, a swimming pool. There's some slides. That's basically it. Not much to see. Now, will I come back to this park? Probably not. I've done Lightning here. It's a fun coaster, but not really very re-rideable in my opinion. So I will probably not be back here soon. Maybe if they one day decide to open up an even bigger roller coaster, even bigger ride, maybe I'll come back. I'm not sure yet. Also, the whole situation this morning with the on-rides approval thing and such, it was kind of weird. It's for sure not the fault of the staff. They are just doing their jobs and they're just doing what they're told to do. But to the management, I would recommend to inform your staff about the procedures. Here's another view, by the way, on the swimming area. As you can see, yeah, this is basically it actually. As you can see, it's not really a big area for sure. Nothing like Skara Summerland at all. But anyway, that was our day here at Furuvik, and also our last park on this trip to Sweden and Norway. Did I enjoy it? I absolutely loved this trip. Not so sure about this park, but I absolutely loved the whole trip. A lot of great parks like Liseberg, Kolmarden, Grönalund and such. But also fun, of course, to explore some little parks like Skara Summerland, this one here, Furuvik, and also Tusenfryd in Oslo. Anyway, tomorrow we're flying back to Belgium, and then I can start counting down to the next theme park adventure. But that's going to be for another video. See ya!